in partnership with Naughty by Nature. These are the 3 or 4 essential things that you need for your summer, fellas. If you're trying to get that beard right and you're trying to have a struggle beard when you walk up to a girl at Cabana this summer, you need this. So the first thing you want to do is use this growth oil it's the Essence of Lavender collection. So you want to use this growth oil. It's real good. Moisturize, detangle your beard for when you sleep on it at night, unless you got a beard bonnet like me. And you got the beard cream. I don't care. You got the beard cream right here. Boom. Essence of Lavender collection. This joint smells really good. I use this every day. You can use both these products every day, but this mainly I use every day. Like if I'm on the run, I just lather it real quick. And don't matter what brand you get, just get you a brush, get you a comb. Like you can't just brush it and keep it going. Sometimes you got to get the little knots and the split ends out, all that. Like, get Naughty by Nature, shop Naughty by Nature, link in the bio. All right, y'all, we back with another episode of the Rapper Cap Podcast, back with my co-host right here, Lyric.
What it is?
You ain't gonna say, yo, we back this time?
Oh, no, because somebody fried me up for that, so I ain't gonna say
Yeah,
it.
I did too.
Whatever.
Did too. But, good reviews on the last podcast.
Yeah, welcome.
We are at Verify Sound Studios right now. As you can see, the quality is A1. You see how clear it is. You see
how good I sound.
The ambience of everything is just great. I'm on a vibe in here. Turn the lights off. I might go to sleep, but it's a vibe.
Oh my God.
So we gonna get right into it because it's gonna be a long-winded one. I can already tell. So your top 3. Let's do top 3 R&B albums of all time.
Oh my God.
Nah, you can't say I ain't give you a good one this time. I feel like
my
that's
personal
solid.
favorite or like
Your top 3. It's your top 3.
and
I won't say nothing if you mention Mr. Robert Kelly.
I'm not going to. My top 3. Oh my God, that's a good one.
That's a good one, right? Yo, give me mine.
About time.
Cut the camera off.
Okay, so one of my favorite R&B albums is Chris Brown's Self-Titled.
Yeah, classic.
And it just gives me so much nostalgia. I love that album. I don't know if it's R&B. I think she was more pop.
It's gonna be a Beyonce joint, ain't it?
That's what I think she's
Crazy in
pop.
Love?
Yes, but I think that's pop.
I feel like that's pop. It did have a lot of R&B on there though. Maybe not a lot.
Not a lot, yeah. Because I don't even know if Crazy
pop.
in Love is.
It's pop.
The
That's
song
pop.
is, yeah.
That's pop.
All right, so honorable mention though, because I love Beyonce.
Oh my God.
Emancipation of Mimi.
I was about to say you gotta run Mimi.
For sure. That is like one of my favorite albums ever.
Facts. That's a
And yeah, young kids don't know about this, but Anita Baker Rapture is like one of my favorite albums. I could run that joint all day.
Ooh.
I just aged myself, but I just know good music. That's all it is.
Come on, these young folk don't know nothing about it. Come on now.
That's
When your
cleaning
mama
music,
When your mama put that Anita Baker music on when it's time to clean.
Facts.
Oh my God.
Facts. No, yeah, I love that album.
Wow. That's a solid 3. I ain't gonna hold you. That's a solid.
Yeah.
Solid 3.
My kids gonna know all 3 of them albums by heart. Are they getting a whooping?
That's tough. I might have to go. I can't leave Confessions off there.
Oh yeah.
I can't. I can't. Emancipation and Mimi going up there, period. Just because I just like the fact that her last name Mimi or her little nickname Mimi. Like
I'm dead.
I just like saying Mimi. Me and Mimi was at the store that day. Like, you know what I'm saying? And my third one, I want to put a Michael Jackson album in there, but I know he is strictly pop for real. And I want to put a Chris Brown one in there, but I feel like I'm missing something big.
I feel like you are too.
And we won't mention Mr. Robert Kelly, so I can't.
Because even Breezy's borderline pop, but it's borderline.
Breezy, I think Breezy went pop after his first 3 albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even
because Fame Through Everything else is pop besides Half a Heartbreak, but that was like 48 songs.
A masterpiece, by the way. A masterpiece, but anyways. I feel like his next show about to be R&B, but that's not what we're talking about. We don't just,
It's probably gonna be mid, but yeah, we'll save that conversation for another day. That's a live conversation. My third one. My third album. I'd probably say. Hold on, I'm gonna cheat. What's the name of that joint called?
Who?
I used to sing that joint all the time.
Not the music connoisseur.
Come on now.
Not you stumbling.
Stop, man. Like, you putting pressure on me. I don't like that.
You asked the question? You know the question.
I did know the question. I did. I ain't gonna hold you. From the Mint Factory, Mint Condition.
Oh yeah.
That joint is fire.
Yeah.
They only had that one album, but that joint fire. Like, that joint is fire. Like, my pops told me, that was a fun fact. My pops told me that the lead singer was the drummer. And they had somebody else singing lead. And then when they heard him sing the backup joints, they put him as the lead singer of the band.
I feel like I did hear that story.
That's crazy. And that album don't miss. Hey.
That's just like a good opening.
I wanted to say that Jodeci album. Low key.
Yeah.
That joint was fire too.
Yeah, that's like prime R&B.
Exactly. I wanted to throw a Boyz II Men album in there, but I don't feel like they got like a stable album. They just got solid projects all the way through.
Facts.
And mega hits.
Facts.
So that was a little tough. I ain't gonna lie to you. I
must have run that jump back when I leave though.
Oh, facts. I'm gonna be in the car hollering.
Screaming.
Oh yeah, by the way, you see the shades. Somebody don't want to promote their brand, so I'm gonna do it. Oscillator. You looking at the CEO right here.
Yeah.
Go shop the shades while the website's still up. And you know. Go shop, man. Like, I don't know what you got up there no more, but the shades.
We still got shades.
We still got shades. Yeah, we got a bunch of shades.
No,
I'm ready to rack up. All right. So today, I felt like it would be a better. Let me not say better. I feel like it'd be a great sequel to what we talked about last time. If we just talk about this, and I lead off. Because I don't want to say the title or whatever, because we're going to cover a bevy of topics like we did last time. But one thing I think I found myself thinking about this week too, now that we was talking about it off camera, I was really thinking about my love stages. So just how I felt, I did a lot of like, you know, we talking off camera, it was like we didn't really reflect like that, but I feel like we did. We just didn't like, you know, do a whole synopsis of our reflection of the relationship. We just gave like the moving on like reflection piece.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me, I did like myself a disservice at times, because I was like, hold on, it's not showing.
I meant to say that. It's tacky.
I got me out here looking naked. I did myself a disservice by kind of judging like my relationships, like even with people, but definitely relationships based off of, okay, when I felt like I was in love with this person, this how I felt, and this box ain't checked, so I definitely ain't in love. Whole time I probably was, or I probably was never gonna be.
You just move very strategic,
right? Like, I feel like I was like, oh yeah, I felt like this was my first love. Like, that's how I'm supposed to feel. Like, I'm supposed to be irrational.
And you was 10?
Nah, I was like 16. I was like, I'm supposed to be irrational. Like, I'm supposed to be like, it's supposed to be passionate. Like,
my God,
all the movies you see, like
passion and toxic is like a fine line.
You see me out here doing all this.
Oh my God, doing what? You don't working at 16?
I won't, but like standing in the rain type joint, like out here,
God,
like I'm gonna die.
That's what's wrong with y'all.
Yeah,
that's what's wrong with y'all.
Yeah, you should know. You know this 0 on it.
Yeah. Well, that's
all right. So that's how I felt. Like a lot of like in the beginning, I was like, oh, if it ain't like passionate like this, then it ain't hitting. But then it transitioned again, and I'm just like, maybe I do. Like, maybe you just gotta learn to love people. Whole time that was a toxic situation, I was making myself do it because I couldn't have what I wanted. And then like moving on, it was just like, nah, I know what I gotta fit. I transitioned into like, okay, these boxes got to be checked into. I know what it's supposed to make me feel like, and then I transitioned into, I don't know what it's supposed to make me feel like. It made me feel different every time.
Cause you're an overthinker. It's like a lot of thought.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I wish I would have used my brain more instead of these, what are they called, feelings. It was just like, I was like, what is this? I'm sweating. Hold on, what is this? I did not like that.
Not you sweating.
Yeah, no. I mean, I should have like had more boxes checked, but that seems so stressful. I wanted stuff to be fun. Like I wasn't thinking long term. Probably wasn't smart because then the relationship was so long, so just kind of like wasted my time in my youth.
Oh yeah, you.
Yeah.
36.
But it's like, I didn't have a.
What's up?
Shut up.
Okay.
I didn't have a what I thought it was supposed to be.
All right.
Like, oh, love's supposed to feel like this. So because my parents have been married so long, and I've always seen my dad like love my mom.
Right.
My mom's not that affectionate, but I was always like, this is like rare. This is a once in a lifetime type of thing. I'm not gonna get this. I never want to get married ever.
Right.
Ever. So even though, because that was the standard, I still wasn't looking for. I was like, I know these men out here are not finna give me this, and I will not accept anything less. Whole time. Yeah, so I didn't know what it was supposed to look like. So then when things just started happening, I'm like, oh, this is love, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what they talk about in the movies.
Right.
I don't really like it, but I'm gonna rock with it. It's cool. But yeah, had I had checked boxes, it probably would have felt a little different. But I don't like to do a lot of things like that, like strategic.
Yeah.
Good thing and a bad thing.
Right.
But I like for things to come naturally and not have to force them. I have to force myself to love you. Obviously, like, love is a choice I get now that I'm older. But I'm like, if it doesn't come naturally, like, I'm out. Which is why I've only ever had one relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me too, like, in one of my situations, it was just kind of like, oh yeah, we've been talking for 3 months. Like, why you ain't cuff me? I'm like, first off, ma'am, that's why, because it's only been 3 months. Like, you tripping. And on top of that, like, I felt like the level, like I said, I'm very detailed. So I felt like the level of intimacy, like, that was there, it could have been way higher, and I wasn't ready to risk it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
before the relationship, you expected so much intimacy before the relationship?
Not so much, but I would feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's stereotypical, but I feel like it's true. Like, them late conversations when y'all just, like, talking about stuff, like, sharing stuff, like, I felt like, I was just like, oh, she's a vibe. I know nothing about you. Like, I know nothing about you. Like, I don't know. Like, did you pee in the bed till you was 12? Like, what? Like,
I'm sure nobody's going to offer up that information, though.
Oh, for sure. I done heard some crazy stuff. So, I felt like I ain't know nothing about her. And I felt like that, like, multiple times in relationship. Like,
when she asked you why you ain't cuffed her?
Yeah, like, first of all, I don't have that conversation after 3 months. Like, why I ain't cuff you? My jeans not even cuffed. What you thought? I don't even cuff those every day. Like, what you thought?
Oh my God.
So, for me, it was just more so like, yeah, like, I want to get to know you. Like, for me, strategic part of myself
to
speaking.
see if you're worthy of me?
No. It had nothing to do with that. It was saying,
go ahead.
Oh, you sick.
Go ahead.
It had more to do with, like, I want to get to know this person as much as possible before I just decide, all right, cool, like, I'm gonna go ahead and, like, because I like you, I'm gonna just go ahead and make it official. When in reality, like, to me, that's not smart. Like, 3 months in, like, and I look at it like this, like, it take you a year to really know somebody, like, a year. And I'm not saying, like, my talking process is a year. You know, other situations could speak otherwise, but we ain't talking about that. So, I feel like
you're just thinking so strategic. Like,
yeah, cause I when I react off of emotion, like,
it's not a reaction. How do you feel about me?
Huh?
Is it taking you 3 months to figure it out? Because my parents aren't the best example, but at 3 months they were engaged and they've been together 30 years now, 34.
I feel like at 3 months, I don't know how I feel about you, because in 3 months you can fake the funk easily. For 3 months, we could have the best 3 months of my life, and then the next 9 months, I feel like I'm burning. Down, not down there, but you know.
Yeah, clarify that.
Yeah, ain't nobody burning, because ain't nobody burning. Yeah, I really don't give like 3 months. Like, oh yeah, we've been talking for 3 months. Okay, cool. You want a cookie? Like, I'm not moving based off.
I mean, yeah, I don't think
months.
It's like, okay, 3 months is the mark, but at 3 months, I would be like, okay, how?
Nah.
If I'm looking for that.
How you feel about this? How you feel about the fact that there are women out there giving dudes benchmarks, and then, granted, it is fair because dudes do fold and end up giving in and be like, yeah, like, all right, cool. Like, she said she was gonna leave me. Like, oh, I just did it or whatever, and they go do whatever they want to do, and then it's problems, or they not all the way in it, and it's problems like you won't change or whatever. How you feel about women giving men like stipulations and timelines like that?
I think if you tell them, if you give him some in your brain, I don't really think it's an issue, because that's your standard of what you're gonna deal with. Like, and because you're not gonna have me 40 years old and I still like.
Sound like a love story to me.
Shut up. But yeah, like, I'm gonna have 40 years old waiting on you because I love you, and you still playing games. Because I think, and I'm not a man.
Oh wow, this is about to be crazy.
I think men know, like, if this is your wife, you know, a year, maybe 2. So, because how often do you hear about a man being with a girl for 5 years, 6 years, whatever? I ain't ready to get married, da-da-da-da. I've heard this multiple times.
Hold on. What you about to say? And
then they leave, they break up, the girl gives an ultimatum, whatever, and then go off and get married to the next girl in like 6 months, a year. She just wasn't it. But then you wasted my time for 5 years, 6 years, whatever. And I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying 5 years because whatever. But I'm just saying, like, you waste people's time, but you already knew she wasn't the one. I feel like y'all know.
I don't believe that.
At this age, not 18, 20, 21.
Even
at this age, I think y'all know.
Even then, it goes back to what I said. A lot of men typically don't grow up in touch with their emotions. Like, correct. So, like, we go based off of, we're built off of logic. Y'all are built off of emotion. So for us, a lot of times dudes get into things, and I literally had this conversation last night. Like, somebody was like, bro, it just makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, why wouldn't I not do this and this and this when she's bringing this and this to the table? My life is easy. I don't have to do anything like crazy. All I have to do is take care of her, blah, 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 blah. Like, throws the providing factor in there and something else. And they're like, I'm good. She has issues, but I'm good. Like, that's just something you got to deal with. Everybody has issues. This makes sense for me. That's how a lot of men think.
Yes, and not once in there where you are like, I love this person, crazy. She makes sense. If I make sense to somebody, I will not make it make sense. But I think for that simple reason.
I think when men say that, though, it's not necessarily, women want the words of affirmation. Men, like, them, I don't want to say they speak in between the lines, but them saying like, oh, she takes care of me, like she does all this stuff and makes my life easier. That's them saying like, and I love her for that. Like, what she brings is that valuable. Like, it makes me love her more.
Those are all things to consider, right? Like, I've told my homeboys before, okay, you love this girl, cool. Also consider, are these the qualities of a woman you want to raise your daughter or to raise your son? Those are all things that you should consider when you're thinking about getting married. But it shouldn't be the only thing, because some of this love or whatever, infatuation, whatever it is, has to carry you long term. If you view marriage how I view marriage, right. Like, it has to, and sometimes it's the best advice I've ever heard. Sometimes one person is going to be in love and you have to love you guys enough to carry you through, and vice versa. Right. If it's always one person carrying you through, or you're just like, this is a smart decision, why pay 2 rents? Let's just get married and whatever. Right. But you don't really love me, that's not going to last. You're going to cheat. So it's not smart, and maybe it's smart right now because you're thinking strategically, or I'm getting old. But if you don't love that person, or if you're not going to choose to love them through the hard stuff, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be hard stuff. It's just who you choose to go through the hard stuff with. And if you don't love me, it's not gonna work. But that's just me. What do I know? I ain't married, so.
Yeah, you're not. You are old too.
You got one more old joke, and I'm gonna knock that hat off.
That's fine. I got to do rag under here. So how do you feel in terms of like love? What do you define as infatuation? Because I feel like a lot of men go their whole life married, and this is another example. Like parents would be married for like 25, 30 years. Both of our parents have been married 30 plus years or 30 years. Like a lot of people will literally, men I see, like the only reason like the marriage is holding on is because the kids in the house. Like when the kids go to college or when they graduate college, like the marriage break down. And I feel like that being the reason is like you tolerated the other person like this whole time because you were infatuated with how they made you feel with their acts of service, with their gifts, with like their provision, like whatever it was that they brought to the table. Like, because I don't feel like you can be infatuated for 30 plus years off of sex. That's not gonna happen because that's not gonna happen because that joint wears off eventually. Like I don't care what y'all into, like it's gonna eventually wear off. And all the old folks be saying that joint. That's how I know. It ain't by experience because I ain't old and I ain't married. But you old.
So what's the question?
My question is like, how do you feel? What do you feel like infatuation is? Because I feel like infatuation can like goes in seasons, but in different things you can be infatuated with a person. So this season I could be infatuated with this person because of how she makes me feel when I'm grieving a certain situation. I could be infatuated with this person because she got me out of a mental health rut. I could be infatuated because of where she is in her life, career wise, and it's making my job easier. Where love, I feel like also goes in seasons, but it's not like I love you this much today, I love you that much today. Sometimes you really might feel like you don't love that person, but it's just a disconnect. It's not really you don't love them, it's just a disconnect. I
feel like infatuations are seasons, but love is constant because like I said before, you have to choose. That's what my parents said. Like I have to choose to love you every day. Even the days you get on my nerves, I'm making the choice to love you and treat you as if I love you, even if whatever. To whereas infatuation is more of kind of like a mini I see it as like a mini healthy obsession, kind of.
Right.
So like I'm infatuated with Chris Brown. I love him. Like I just do. Or I'm infatuated with him, but I don't love him. Correct. Right. So I think in relationships, I think like those first 2 years is like honeymoon phases, kind of. So I've read data on it. Like that's what it says. The first 2 years, like you should get married in the first 2 years. Prepared. My mom is a data person. She's writing a book. I mean, anyways.
Oh, wow.
She was just telling me this because she's writing a book on their story. Long story short, like my mom didn't realize my dad was attractive until they were married for 25 years. And until he was like checked out. She was like, they had like a hard conversation. He was basically like, I never noticed you look good. He's like, what you mean? So they had this whole thing. That's so we were just talking about that. And she was like, I always remember her like a mother first. She was infatuated with us, her kids. And my dad was infatuated with her. But she was just kind of like moseying along. And he was holding it down. And she didn't even recognize it. Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
I feel like that would be me.
That's scary.
That's scary, right? Well, until now, I feel like that would have been me, except that she like, we've had the conversations to understand because she raised us that way. So, dang, I think I got off the question. What is it?
Yeah, it made me forget. No, I was saying like, what do you feel like infatuation? Like, oh, you answered it. Infatuation versus love. I feel like really too with infatuation, it goes into a whole bunch of different things, because like infatuation can also be based off of like you being wounded. So it's like if you're in a state of like you're hurt and you need to be like, you need healing, and it could not just be like relationship healing or whatever. It could be mommy, daddy drama healing. It could be like you just have in general rejection issues, like whatever it is. Like if you need healing in a certain area and somebody's helping you lick your wounds, like in the best way that makes you feel safe, you could really feel like you could even love that person, but I feel like you will never really be in love with that person, because when they stop licking your wounds or when they call you higher, what are you gonna do? If they're babying you or they're like cultivating you in that state.
I don't know, because I feel like it depends on what the wound is. Because I think I've seen women get out of really bad relationships and they just go for the nice guy. Not because you love him or you're not even infatuated with him, but I know he won't cheat on me, or I know he won't do this to me. I know he won't do that to me.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think he's licking her wounds because it's stability. It's like peace. But I don't think that causes infatuation.
But also too, when you were saying what you just said, dang, I lost what I was saying.
That good?
No. No. It was the dang. I just had it. It was something good too. I was ready to rock the house. It was something good. Women also like they move like that with men too. Like I was talking about checking the box. Like they'll go and they'll go get a man and they'll be like, this one. This is what I want. Like he's a nice guy. He's got all the things that I wanted the man that I just had to be. He naturally has them. He just doesn't have that edge that I want. He doesn't have this that I want. But don't worry, I'm gonna mold him.
I feel like most of those things are usually like physical attractions, though.
I don't think so.
I do.
I think with that, I've literally seen women take a dude and be like, "Oh, he's a nice guy, this and this and this," but like. He's not. I don't like the fact that he's not aggressive. I don't like the fact that he's.
I consider that physical.
Yeah, that's not physical. Yeah. That's like that's an attribute. Like it's not a physical attribute, but it's an attribute. So it's like.
So how are you supposed to pick between those?
Because I feel like you gotta. I feel like you gotta do at the end of the day. Not necessarily. You get what you want, but you get what you need first. So yeah, it's no fun, right?
It's no fun. That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't matter if you wash. Well, it does matter that you're a gentleman. It matters that you're smart with your money. Right. It matters that for me, you're not doing any illegal activity that's gonna land you in jail, and I gotta end up raising your kids by myself.
Right.
Those things matter. But like that aggressiveness, I need to know that you are aggressive. Like, I'm never gonna put you in a situation that. I feel like you need to defend me, but if it ever happened, I need to know that you're going to defend me. Like, that's important. And that kind of healthy aggression, not too toxic.
Also,
like toxic, but not too toxic.
Also, assertive. That's our problem, y'all.
Yeah.
Just assertiveness, and also
Correct. Like. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, go ahead.
Just paying attention to like. For me, I feel like as I got older, one of the things that really stuck out to me attribute wise was, are you nurturing and are you mothering? So like I'm not necessarily gonna be like, let me go get my little cousin to see how you gonna act, or let's go around a bunch of babies. But like it's always a situation whenever you're seeking and you're like searching for something, you're always gonna find what you're looking for, good and bad. So just being in that space and being like, all right, let me see how she is with kids. Like, okay, like she has a hard time kind of connecting with kids. Like, then looking at it like, oh, dang, well, does she really have a hard time connecting with me? How do we connect? Like, and I break it down like
strategic.
That. Yeah.
So strategic.
I break it down like that because I'm like, if you have a hard time connecting with me, how much is a kid gonna really change that? And
but you don't really know until it's your kid, though.
Right. So I'm like, so that's just something that I keep, like I said, my little tabs. I'm like, whoop.
Oh my God. And see, that's the problem. I'm like, hey, this is a good time. I'm gonna keep kicking with it.
Right.
But not thinking all that other
whole
stuff.
Time, like I said, I'm in danger. Right, the whole time.
And I remember one person told me, they were like, there's no way you miss all those red flags. I'm like, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Because we had so much fun.
Man was on the golf cart. Woo! Passing all them jobs.
Facts.
I love it.
Right. It's a good vibe. Feels good. But good. Yeah.
Can't see anything, but feels good.
Right.
But yeah. I mean, yeah, like I just, for me personally, I can't just live my life thinking like, not having answers to certain things. I'm a man that I don't speak on things that I don't know anything about. If I'm not educated on it, that is true. We can talk about this later.
Go ahead.
I try not to speak on things that I'm not educated about. But the things that I'm educated about, I'm super educated about. So whenever it is that time to like speak on them or whatever, or have those conversations, I'm an over like analyzer and I dig deep.
That doesn't rob you of the moment though?
No, I'm always in the moment. I'm always in the moment.
So that's a lie.
I'm always in the moment. Unless it's the podcast. I'm not in the moment all the time on the podcast. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I really
I'm gonna leave that to you and your therapist. But that's a lie.
Jesus is my therapist.
Whatever. So I feel like that does though. And like I said, I feel like it's a 50. It should be a 50-50 balance. But I feel like you're on the deep end and I'm on the other side of the spectrum. Like
we're both on the deep ends of our spectrums.
Correct.
I feel like what's a good example? I feel like I really do be in the moment. Certain things just stick out to me. Like I just can't, and I can't help but notice it because I'm detail oriented. So if you reacted this type of way when I did something for you versus as to if I gave something to you, I'm gonna peep that. Always. And it could be we right in the moment of it, like, oh my gosh, like I appreciate this so much, and then I do something for you, and you're like, oh yeah, I appreciate it. And it's like,
you also have a good memory though. Maybe that's my problem.
I have an amazing memory.
Mine is
your
horrible.
Memory is trash.
Horrible.
Basura.
Whatever. That could be part of it. I'm like, people be asking for examples. I'm like, I don't know. I know how it made me feel though.
Right. See, you decide to be like,
correct.
Oh, you did all this when I do it. I don't know, but I know you did it though.
Facts. Yeah, this will be getting me in trouble.
Yeah, like, exactly.
But I don't want to talk to you no more. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, it's a good and a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I am always so engrossed in my moments with like my people. Like,
yeah,
I'm not really heavy on my phone. I'm not heavy on social media. And I know that you are like with your brand, always posting stuff. So maybe I don't know.
I feel like,
I feel like
balance.
Yeah, I feel like I enjoy my life so much and I value my people around me so much because of that.
Yeah.
So if I was more strategic, I'd be thinking of things like constantly going, because I do have like a trait of when I'm into something, I'm 0 or 100 with everything I do. Mm-hmm. So if I'm into something, it can be all that I think about, all that I'm
like
into.
Obsessive. Sorry.
Yes. Not like unhealthily, but like
you're in it.
I'm in it.
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking about that. And it robs me of the moment sometimes. So I've had to learn how to control that. So I purposely try not to be so strategic because I feel like, and I always feel like those people don't have any fun. Like you're just always checking boxes, like pay attention, live in this, whatever.
All right.
But yeah, it just needs to be a balance with it.
Yeah, I feel like,
especially in a relationship.
I feel like the same way. I feel like sometimes, well, a lot of times, like me being strategic gets in the way of stuff because I'm trying to have that drawn like picture perfect. Like I'm a person, even though like I really don't do home decorating, it's one of my least favorite things. I'm the person that literally, when I used to live in my apartment, I would come home every day and look at my pictures and be like, like that person, like. I'm looking at my floor. I'm looking at everything. Make sure everything is intact. Also because I lived in Norfolk and I ain't want nobody make it feel like nobody was in my house. So, I had that element too, but I think it was more the first one. But I feel like I focus a lot on making sure everything is like grade A. And in that moment, I'm like, yeah, like for me, that makes the moment better. Like, did you see how that played out? Like, bet. I did what I was supposed to do. And sometimes if it don't go the way I expect it to go, a little bit of control there. Like I get disencouraged or discouraged. Yeah, thank you. I don't know what's wrong with me this morning. I get discouraged.
That's not a word.
Right. You did say shirt instead of short earlier, and I didn't call you out.
Did I really?
You did, and I let you flow. So don't attack me.
Proceed to what you were saying.
Okay, thank you. And now you made me lose again. I just cannot do this. I cannot do this.
It really doesn't matter.
I cannot do this.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, I feel like it discouraged me sometimes, like whenever things go left, and like it might be like, oh yeah, it went good, like it went good, like, and I'm like, no, it should have went this way because.
But even though like it still went good, but because it didn't go perfect, you focus on the fact that it didn't go perfect, and that robs you of the joy of that moment.
I feel like it has to have to be perfect, but it has to be great. Like whenever
I know you very well, and that's a lie.
You're being biased.
No, we're talking about you specifically. I know you very well.
I don't want to talk about me no more. How about that?
Period. Okay, it's your podcast, but who you want to talk about?
We gonna dig into you in a minute.
That's not necessary.
But I do feel like that. It doesn't. I feel like it doesn't like take away. Like I'm not just like, well, that didn't go the way I wanted to go, so now I'm done for the rest of the day. But like later on, I'm gonna think about that for sure. Like I'm gonna enjoy myself while I'm there. I'm gonna think about that later. Like for sure. What you think about? Whole time I'm in my head. Like I want everything as great as it can be. I'm high key a perfectionist, so with that, it's just like, what next time can we do to make this
so
better?
How has that played out in your old relationships that caused them to fail? Or do you give any accountability to that characteristic about you?
Oh, absolutely. But I feel like in relationships I'm different. Like with myself, with friends, other stuff, like, all right, cool. Like I want the best possible, like whatever that is. But in relationships, I'm good as long as you communicate. If we don't have a clear communication line and I gotta go digging for stuff or I'm finding stuff on my own, I'm like, hey, here this is. And like, it's just like, yeah, I'm working on it. It's like, all right, how you working on it? Don't worry about it. I'm choosing to do life with you. I'm worried about it. Because if you ain't gonna fix it, or you don't plan on fixing it, or we don't have like some type of, I'm in this with you. Even though we're not married, like I'm still doing life with you. I'm still in a relationship with you. Therefore, whatever you're going through indirectly or directly affects me. Whether people who try to keep their selves and their issues out of the relationship never works. It always bleeds in some type of way. Like you can't just be one way with other people and one way with your person. It's impossible unless you're schizophrenic or have multiple personality disorder.
Even though you just said, I'm not like that in my relationship. You just said that.
No, I'm saying like I'm not like super like. I feel like with the podcast, I'm overly like analytical. I should say overly analytical. Like all that. I want the best experience possible with myself. I want the best experience possible. Like when it comes down to everything else, like relationships, I should say in general, relationships, I'm less like that because I know I can't control that. And for two, I know, all right, cool. Like if you've been around me for a certain amount of time, I know you doing like you solid and you doing your best in whatever you're doing. Like everybody has the rough patches or whatever, but I know you're not just whatever we go through. I know you're not giving me a crappy experience just because you can or just because you want to. You know?
Not really, but
that's how I feel. I just don't feel like I don't feel like I'm over. Yeah, I don't feel like I know I overanalyze, but I know I don't feel like I'm a super perfectionist with relationships. I just want it to work, and I want it to be conducive to going forward. If it's not conducive,
should it work on your terms? Because what if they don't see an issue with what you see an issue with, and if they don't fix it, then you're out. Obviously, if it directly affects you, you have a say in it. But if they choose not to fix it, like I like this about me, I'm okay with this about me. Is that an issue?
No, because I feel like for me, every single time, I'm like 10 for 10, whatever it is. In situations, in relationships, when I'm like, yo, I feel like we need to talk about this, this, and this. And like, whenever it's like, okay, cool, like, let me think about that. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Nobody's ever said that about me. Like, it normally goes good. And it's been times where it's been like, all right, I think I was just tripping. I think that was just an anomaly. Then there's all the other times when it's been like, nope, that's not true, blah, 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 blah. The quick defense is a dead giveaway. So it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
like,
I'm definitely that person. Or I was that person. Like, this past year was like my year of self-reflection, as I said. So I had told myself, like, all right, when somebody tells me something that they don't like about me or somewhere I can do better, I automatically assume that they're right. And then, so I break it down now, like, either I'm going to break it down and figure out, like, okay, there's some truth to that. Or I'm going to break it down and be like, no, this is why that's not true. This is why, this is why. And I'm more solid in my reasoning for thinking why it's not true.
Right.
But if you start off like, nah, that's not true, and you don't even go through the process of elimination or if it's true or not. So that's why I think, like, I always assume they're right, even most of the time they're wrong. But at least I considered what they're saying, or whatever. I considered what they're saying by giving them the benefit of the doubt instead of always giving me the benefit of the doubt.
Right. Because my mom used to always tell me, like, growing up, because like my dad would be deployed a lot, and me and my mom would be going at it. This one I thought I was becoming a man. The whole time I was still childish.
Still on your way.
Yeah, it was like 7th grade. My mom used to just be like, "Why do you? Hey, don't challenge my manhood on camera." My mom used to say, like, bruh, like, you get upset, like, when I be telling you stuff, like, that you need to correct or you need to fix. Don't nobody got time to just be sitting here making stuff up. And I'm like, yes, you do. And she's like, no, I'm not making nothing up. Like, why would I want to make something up that's, like, wrong about you? She was like, I love you. So anything, like, anytime, most of the time, when people who love you tell you something about yourself, it's like, it's probably true that they've noticed about you. Not that, oh, I don't like this about you, that they noticed about you. And she's like, because they could not like the fact that you're blunt. And she was like, doesn't matter. Like, that's you. That's part of who you are. She's like, but a pattern or a behavior that they noticed about you that's affecting them or they think it's causes for concern. She was like, nobody's making that up.
That definitely,
most of the time,
yeah. I was going to say, because I was thinking about that. People who I feel like I'm very close to or know me have known me for so long and have known me in a certain way.
Right.
That when growth starts to happen or has started to happen, I'm kind of like, you're still see me in this old light.
Right.
And not because you're making things up about me, but because you're so used to me being this way. Like,
correct.
Somebody had told me recently, it was like, you just, like, you hate to be inconvenienced and we gotta deal with your attitude. And I'm like, this is true. I really do hate to be inconvenienced, because if you would just ask me to do something, I would inconvenience myself for you, these people. So yeah, I was like, and she was like, so that makes you selfish. I'm like, no, because I will do it. Even when you inconvenience me, I still always do it. So, but the fact that you have to deal with my attitude for a little bit, maybe I can adjust it. Maybe you could ask me 2 weeks in advance. But regardless, I was like, you still see me in an old way that I used to be, because I already addressed that issue with me. That, shut up. That you're still treating me like that person when I'm no longer that person.
So inconvenience, I am 1,000% with you. I'm a planner. So,
and I'm not.
I am a 1,000% planner. I have a planner. Like, my planner has a planner.
Me as well, and I do not use it.
My planner has a planner. My notebook has a planner. Like, everything is like well thought out, planned, everything. So for me, when I'm inconvenienced, I'm like, no, that's you. Like, it's you, because I planned for this. I didn't plan for your inconvenience.
Correct.
Like, I put a buffer in there for, okay, cool. Like, this might happen. I put buffers in there. But you to totally inconvenience me by a whole day or a whole hour? Nope. I'm not gonna prepare for that, because I planned everything else.
Right, and because I don't plan anything, I'm like, you don't know my day. No, I didn't have any set in stone plan.
You don't even know your day.
Correct. So you can't add something else in there at the last minute.
Cause you'll plan something on the fly and be like, oh, bet, yeah. You'll wake up in the morning, catch a vibe. Oh, I'm gonna go on a run, and then I'm gonna go sit by the water, and then you wake up and be like, so yeah, I didn't work out and do anything today. It's just like, bruh.
Facts. Yeah. Like I said, it's not always the best thing, but
so
my life is great.
So, since we were talking about me, how does that work then when you're so in the moment with things and you hate to be inconvenienced? Like, how do you balance staying in the moment versus inconveniencing people too? Because if you're so in the moment and, like, let's say your phone going off and you just like,
Multiple people have complained about this.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear it.
So for me, I'm just not a phone person. Like, pull up for one. What are we texting for? Majority of my people that I love the most are like in different states. We don't talk that often. We'll probably have like a 2-3 hour FaceTime call every couple weeks. And that holds us over because I'm not a texter. I don't answer my phone, whatever. My notifications are never on. Even like Instagram, any of those things. When I get on Instagram, I'll see it.
You're like Patrick. You live under a rock. Like,
I love my life.
it just...
And like, so my family is very close. We're very close. We spend a lot of time together. Like, we do fire pits, all those things. My parents are older, so my dad is older. I would much rather sit around and kick it with my nephew, my sisters on occasion.
So quality time basically is what I'm
over
hearing.
anything that's in my phone.
Okay.
I don't care. I really don't. And sometimes I will have my phone, but like, I'm also a military child. If a grown person is talking to me, if I pick up my phone, my mom will hit something, like throw it out the way. Like, it's just disrespectful. And I like people to feel like when they're talking to me, they have my undivided attention, because I hate when people do that to me. It drives me up. I'm like, I ain't saying nothing, I guess. Yes, you. But a lot of people, I hate it.
I'm a busy man.
Correct. And those are your values. These are mine. So when people get upset, I'm like, I can do better because, like, yeah, I'll be having time commitments and stuff like that. But if you know me, give me an hour, 30 minutes.
Lyric always late, y'all. That's what we saying. She always late. One thing she gonna do is be late.
One thing I'm gonna do is be late. But the second thing I'm gonna do is gonna be worth the while. I'm late, but my outfit look good. You got something to look at.
No, that's not always true, because sometimes you be late and miss the event.
That's happened like once or twice.
Yeah. Tomato.
Still
once or
good.
twice.
Anyways, yeah, those are just my values, and I understand other people have different values, like you with your business, or my homeboy with his Xbox. Like, you have your phone off, like, I'm trying to call you, you playing the game. It's not even real life. Yeah. But those are his values, so it doesn't matter. And for me, those are just mine, and people around me have to know, like, and it's a little extreme, but my family is number one. If I'm having a conversation with my homeboy about his life and he's having issues, I can see you calling me on the other line, but if he's having a moment, I'm gonna give him my undivided attention because of what he needs. And that's just how I love my people. It just is what it is. I can do better with time commitments and stuff, but in the grand scheme of things, these are what I value more. Yeah, what are you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like I could do better with my phone. I feel like I have, because the work has been, making me be better with my phone, because I just really don't have time to get on, like, whatever. My screen time was down like 30%. I was like, God.
And Instagram just dry now.
It is.
I don't know if we've been on it too long.
Nah, it's a little dry.
I feel like it's because we've been on it too long.
You need a little drip drop.
Like,
it's dry.
I don't know how old I was when I got it. I was in high school.
I had to be like, I'm about to say probably 10th, 11th grade.
Yeah, so at least like 8 years. I don't know, maybe because we're getting older. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, there's really nothing. And things just bother me now. People's posts just bother me. I'm like, I'm about to be the grumpy old man sitting on the porch, like idiot kids on Instagram.
But yeah, I feel like...
Because for what? What am I here for?
Prop. I do feel like I could do better with my phone. Just putting, like, one thing I'm not going to compromise on is posting on the podcast. Like, I got to post when I got to post. If I don't have anybody to run the page, if the other person doesn't have the pictures, I have to be the one to go in and post. Because y'all know on Instagram, you can't save a draft and the draft saves on everybody who signed into the account. So when I'm posting, whatever, like, that's just something that I got to do. But that's from 9 to 9. So that's every hour on the hour. I'd be trying to finesse it to where I'm like, all right, I'm going to do half of it. I can't wait till this blow up, because I don't want to do social media no more. I hate it. Like, I don't want to do nothing like that. I want to be somewhere directing. I want to be somewhere in the photo shoot. I want to be somewhere creating content. Like, I don't want to do this political stuff. So, but until then, I got to be diligent so I can tell people what I want and then do whatever. So for me, it's like I can't compromise that. Now, there are times, like, literally when my mom's talking to me and we we in deep talking, like whatever it is, we talking. And like I look at my phone and I'm like, dang, it's been 2 hours, I ain't post. Well, there's one time like I could eat that, like I ain't tripping. But like on the regular, like
you don't want to get in the habit of not posting.
Regularly not posting. I don't ever want to get myself in the habit of that and not being like keen, because I'm like, my life now, I just had an epiphany like this week. I was just like complaining a lot like to myself, and I'm like, bro, like I don't get paid enough to do this, like this is stupid, like these people lost their mind, like I'm tired, I just want to sleep all the time. And it's just like, bruh, you're an entrepreneur, you have a job, and you have your social life. This is the least busy you're gonna be for the rest of your life. So you better figure it out now, and you better figure out how to get what you need to get out of the day, and how to get your own personal stuff, and how to balance everything else. So you got to figure it out. But in all to say, like I need to do better with that aspect and being in the moment and relaying that, because my mom, she does it all the time. She'll just be talking and I'll pick up my phone and like send a text or do something else. And she's not one to be ignored. So it's like I'm used to our dynamic, because I'll literally be like, all right, Mom, I'm going up the stairs to get my Crocs, I'm listening. And she'd be like, yeah. And she's following me up the stairs, like still talking. And I'm like in the mirror trying stuff on, like, and my mom's still talking. And I'm just like, yep, this is the flow that I need. You understand me. But everybody's not like that. And you can't, of course, especially with the mom.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not like that.
Sometimes you got to drop it. And when my mom,
correct,
I do that. When she comes in like the loft, and I'm in there watching TV, and she's like, she walks up there, I'm automatically pressing pause, because you might as well give her what she needs and what she wants in that moment, than to drag it out, be half hearing. And
because the other thing with with the phone, like, let me just send this one text. Somehow, some way, it's not just one text, right? Let me just post, and you start scrolling, start looking at all this other stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm not talking. Like, you don't care about what I'm saying. And for me in relationships, that's like, that's such a sensitive thing for me that I have to work on. Like, I hate feeling like what I'm saying is falling on deaf ears, or you're not paying attention to me. And in their eyes, like, bro, I'm just sending a text, and I'm just like, I'm disposable. You don't care about me. It's fine.
Oh my God.
When it's not even all of that.
Y'all send help. Shorty need help.
Whatever. I'm growing, but yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I think my mom and my parents were exactly like that. Like, you better not pick up that phone while I'm talking to you. Like, you better not. Or they would ask, like, who's calling you? Like, do you need to answer it? Like, if it ain't for work, if it ain't whoever, you can call them back. I'm talking. Ain't nobody, like, my mom used to say that all the time. Ain't nobody more important. Ain't nothing more important than what I got to say right now.
My mama.
And my mom could literally just be like, we're going to the store. Like, mama, that ain't important. But to her, like, she takes precedence over all that, like, when she's speaking.
My mom, too, like, we used to watch movies. Oh, my God. First of all, I hate watching movies. But we could all be laying on the couch. If I just look at my phone, we watching a movie, I'm like, all right, cool. But like, you're not even talking to me. We all watching a movie. I can't check my phone. She did not play that. Like, quality time is her thing too. So I guess it just trickled down to me.
Yeah. I feel like that also goes into, that plays into the infatuation too. Like, you like somebody because they're not in their phone, but they're not necessarily like into you either. Like, they could just be a person that's detached from like internet and stuff like that. So like, for example, like somebody could be with you and you like, I don't really get on my phone in general. Like, I like to, go out, have experiences, like spend time together. But you also could be that person to where you like, you're really not even on my radar right now. You're sitting right next to me. Like, yeah,
like I said, I don't, things like that, I don't like people to tell me.
Right.
Let me see it, because you also could not be on your phone around me because your DM's going crazy.
Right.
So you telling me that doesn't really like, oh, that makes me like you so much more. No, let me see how you are. My presence, which is a little dramatic, but whatever. My presence should make you want to feel like I don't need to be on my phone. This is enough. Our conversation is enough, or we can talk enough that you forget to look at your phone. Not always, especially like a long-term thing, but when we first started dating, if we're on a date, why'd you ask me on a date if you're going to be on your phone?
That's a fact.
I am entertaining enough. Hello. But yeah.
It's because you got issues.
whatever. It's a good time for everybody else. My therapy session, good time for everybody else.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, that's how I feel. And that's how I want to feel too. Like we're so engrossed in a conversation or what we're doing or an activity that I don't care to look at my phone. Because I'm already not that person that if I do feel the need to look at my phone, boring. Like I just don't need that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm not that strategic of a thinker, but I think of those things. Like, yeah, no, after the fact, like how many times did I check my phone? How many times did he check his phone? Like, that ain't it.
Yeah, I'm not thinking like that either. That's one thing I just don't keep up with stuff like whatever. But if I'm on a date and you constantly like doing that, I'm just like, so why am I spending my money? Why am I spending my money?
Clearly you want to be there.
Like, but I will say in relationships that's different for me. Like I'm like, all right, like get off your phone, like or I'll just smack it and like watch it go flying. But also like with my friends though, like sometimes it just really be like that. We both be on the phone and we be talking, be like, bruh, such and such. Like it's a different.
Yeah, for sure. Like you got your own life. You got to check on your girl while you with me. Like,
right.
We just friends. I don't care. But like, if you're pursuing me. Back to the last episode. If you ain't coming 100%, if I ain't got your full attention, if you are not entertained, be gone. Do not care. But I feel like with long-term relationships too, like if we spend this much time together, you're gonna be on your phone at some point. Like I understand that. It's just like the courting phase.
So then with like being on your phone and stuff like that, like how do you feel about? I don't know how you feel about it. I ain't even gonna ask you that. For me, I don't like when it comes to my phone and stuff like that, I know I've had like a lot of issues with like women like posting on social media. Like I don't necessarily like, I don't look to it. Like if you post me, cool. Like it doesn't.
Them, you posting them?
Yeah. And vice versa. Like for me, posting does not sway my day. I don't look on social media and be like, is that an MCMIC? Like I don't ever look at it like that.
There are men like that.
There are, and they need counseling.
Like, nah, I posted her as a woman crush Wednesday,
so
and this is
she better post me as a man crush. That's high school.
Yes, and I'm like, we are childish.
I remember when we was in high school and it'd be on a run. Like, dang, you posted her as your WCW like 3 weeks in a row.
For sure, got in trouble for some of those.
Exactly.
I ain't telling her to post me.
Oh my god! But for me, yeah, it does nothing for me. I get no validation, affirmation through social media.
So I think it just depends on the relationship, what you value. The issue with social media, which is why I have to take breaks from it, is the factor of comparison. Do you? If I have to tell you to post me for it to make me feel good, for it to validate me, for it to solidify our relationship,
there's a bigger issue.
Do you actually feel good? Hey, post me on there. Put this filter on there. Here's the picture. I'll do it. Whatever. Just so that everybody else sees it. Do you actually feel good? Do I actually feel good? Like, oh, he does love me. Whole time, you posted that picture. You know he wasn't gonna do it.
That's my thing. So it's like, I want you to post me. I need you to post me. Literally, a woman told me, I need you to post me twice a week. I said,
those are boxes being checked off.
Como se dice? Oh, are you serious? Like, but I just like that. I don't get because what is you telling me that
correct?
I need to post. What is that gonna? Because you're gonna see it coming. It doesn't matter. Like wake up Monday, you probably gonna post me today. All right, we got tomorrow. Don't even worry about it. It's Wednesday. It's coming. Like, oh no. Oh, there it is. Thursday. We're here. Period. Where's the other one?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the validation that comes from it. I think personally, in my previous relationship, when he would post me and write these romantic things, like whatever, they did make me feel like, oh, that's sweet. Oh, look at him. But when they stopped, I don't think I ever was like, what happened? Right. Why you stop doing it? You don't love me no more? Da, da, da. And so, and I've just learned my lesson. Like, I just think if you value something, I don't really put it on. So I don't give social media that much credit. Right. Now, so I've seen, I do read some of the posts, like when they post their woman or whatever, and I think it's beautiful. It's sweet. You want that to be part of your aesthetic of your page. I don't know. I do believe that if you're married, you should have that on there.
Right.
For me, it's all about the reasons why. Why do you want me to post you so bad? Why don't you want to post me so bad? What are you so against? Is it because you got these people over there? Is it because of whatever?
Yeah.
Because the other thing that I've had to consider is I'm very territorial of anybody, my family, my friends, whoever I'm with, like whatever.
Territorial or possessive?
Tomato. I'm territorial. Possessive, I feel like I'd be fighting everybody, and I don't. I'm just like, that. This is mine. These are my people. I love them this strongly. Back away.
These are mine is possessive. But go off.
Okay. Whatever. Call it what you want. I don't think, I'm not crazy. I'm just gonna say that in that aspect.
Okay.
So if I'm not on my dude's page or whatever, because whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. I have to know that women are still gonna try to holler at him because
they don't know.
And it's not out of disrespect, so you can't get mad. Now the ones that do know, you can get slapped. But the ones that don't, like if it's random women that that he doesn't even know, why am I mad at him? Because these women are in his DM. How he responds, of course. But yeah, but you posting me doesn't give me any validation in high school, maybe. So
and vice versa. Like she can't control who coming in her DMs. To me,
correct.
To me, I feel like the more that I get older, I'm like, okay, it's low-key kind of like a compliment. Because if she was ugly, she wouldn't be getting no DMs. Like,
right.
It's low-key like a compliment now.
It is. But it's also a thin line because I know women, and I do know like sometimes it's just safer not to post the person because as soon as you do, they coming out the woodwork.
Facts.
And it's like, where you been this whole time? If you was pressed for him, you would have been said something. But whatever. It's not what you asked me. It's not what you asked me.
Story time.
Right. But I think people do get validation from social media because you're comparing other people. Like I'll always repost like Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert, like when they
love them.
Yeah, they're just cute. And I'll repost them because I think it's a cute story. But if you get into the habit of like, my man don't do that for me. My man don't take these pictures in front of Essence for me. Like he ain't putting this on the magazine. Like you need to post me this. At least you can do. You can at least do this. Or people that really want these dramatic, romantic things on Valentine's Day, like your house filled with roses and you live in a studio apartment. Like you still gonna be mad. That doesn't make sense to me. But it's the art. It's like the fact of comparing. That's what social media does. It's not validating.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's what I think. That's what I think. That's just me. I
have to take the glasses off of this. Because I want y'all to see this. And they was just giving me real chill, laid back, Bobby Brown 90s vibes. I'm ready to give y'all crackhead Whitney and Bobby vibes 2000. So,
that was real love.
Please, if men are you doing it, if you're doing it too, stop. Like, please. First of all, with the Iman Shumpert and Tiana Taylor, Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan, who are Beyonce and Jay-Z, they're millionaires. They are millionaires. They are millionaires. So the gifts that they give each other, they're multi-millionaires. Let me stop. They're multi-millionaires. Iman Shumpert is a basketball player, an NBA basketball player who played like 10 years. Tiana Taylor is a artist and an actor. Jay-Z is he's just a businessman.
He's Jay-Z.
Beyonce is Beyonce.
It's Beyonce.
So, and Michael B. Jordan is like the hottest actor right now, and Lori Harvey is Lori Harvey.
A baddie.
Yeah, she's just bad.
Yeah, I don't know what she does.
I don't know. She just looks good.
Yeah,
she gets paid to look good.
Yeah.
So y'all stop looking for that. Like, I need a Birkin. Like he gave him a car. Like all these grand gestures. They're grand gestures to us because we're broke. Okay,
right?
Because we're broke or we're not in that tax bracket.
She could buy herself that Birkin.
She could buy herself, and in fact, she has Birkins already. So it's not like they're gifting each other things that they don't have already. Now, if you got somebody like Bradley Beal and his wife, I love them two together. She's been with him since he was like just a regular hooper. Like nobody knew nothing about him before he got drafted and all that. Yeah, he's gifted her the nicer things because that's where they're at now. Like she likes them.
The other thing to consider is, I remember some girl saying, or she sent it to me and was like, when Kanye filled Kim's house with roses for Mother's Day or something like that, and my baby daddy didn't even give me this. I was like, first of all, Kanye didn't go out there and put rose by rose. He hired somebody to do that.
To lay him out, and he walked in and said, "That's good. I want some over here."
Correct. If that.
He might have been just as surprised as she was.
Right. Like, oh, y'all did good.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like, y'all know Mother's Day coming up. Give her something. I'm saying, so you're comparing things that are so unrealistic.
Right.
Your man in the military, and he deployed. How you want him to come do that
Ain't
for
no
you?
way you getting no flowers. Like, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like the art of comparison of social media, and that makes you so miserable.
Right.
Like, you can't afford to do that.
Right.
You can't. The men that are doing all this stuff for the women reciprocate as well. So when you go get him that Cartier watch,
literally, Cardi B and Offset is a perfect example.
Perfect
if
example.
You see their birthday gifts to each other, or they're just random.
Ridiculous.
I'm thinking about you gifts to each other.
Didn't she like buy him like property or something like that?
She bought him property and gave him what was it, like $3 million in cash?
Right.
Who does that?
Exactly.
I ain't never seen $1 million. I ain't never seen $100,000.
Me even less. So I'm just saying, like, it's just, so when it comes to posting, that being such a serious thing in a relationship or whatever it is, how much it validates you. And does it really? Okay, cool. He posted me like, we in love. He also slid in somebody's DMs right after he posted you. Right. Or some girl was like, oh, this you? And he was like, nah.
That, or, oh my God, you guys are so good. Y'all look so good together. Like, I used to have a crush on you. Like, that's how they
that's why you been ducked off.
Little insert. Like,
Correct.
But for me, like, I want everything that I do, like I said on the last podcast.
But sorry, let me just say this.
What?
It's one thing to be private, but not to be somebody's like little secret.
Right.
Like, we out in public and like, girl, don't hold my hand. There's people around.
Right.
Like,
you looking around like.
Right. Yeah. That's totally different.
Or you put the shades back on and be like.
Correct. Yeah.
Right,
it's a balance. It's a balance, but.
Yeah, I want everything. See, man, the dangle always be getting me.
I hate people don't get the dangle right.
I got the dangle right though. For me, it's just like everything I do, I want it to be genuine. So if I'm posting you, I genuinely thought about you, and I'm like, nah, like I want to express. I want you to go to social media, and I want you to see how I feel about you. But I'm also the type of dude, like, we not ever gonna sit back and if we dating, like if we're together, you're not. I don't want it. I try to make sure there's never a time where you don't know how I feel about you. So it's not like it done been like a 3-month span and I ain't told you like I love you or like I'm proud of you or you make me feel like this. Whatever it is that like affirms you or whatever it is that I feel.
Right.
Like,
if this man is writing you love letters on the monthly, but he ain't post you, like, what you mad for?
You ungrateful and you don't deserve him. Like, come on now.
And those are, let me just say, those are my values. That's what I believe.
Right.
If y'all's thing is all right, we need to be posted. We need to let the world know. Like, and because I also believe that too. Like, I'm not big on social media, but I'm fly. If you're fly, we gonna take some pictures together because we fly. And I might post it, I might not. You might get them in 2 years. I don't know. But to like go so extreme, like, oh, we can't do that, we can't do this, we can't do that, like if it's not natural, like you said, it's just too much.
Yeah, and I get the element of I want to be shown off, like a lot of women say that I want to be shown
That's
off
fair.
or whatever. But I mean, this is just me. For me, I'm like, yeah, I just took you out to eat, like we
right,
took your pictures, like, you know what I'm saying, like we went out, we had a whole day, like I've been showing you off this whole time. So what is it exactly that you want from showing off? Because it's not like we're in the house all day.
Right. Does it mean nothing that I just, whatever, all this romantic stuff in the bar, if you didn't post it on Instagram?
And
does that have no validity in it?
And also, if that does nothing for you, then let me take the emphasis off of that.
Correct.
And let me put the emphasis, okay, you want me to post more? That's a bet. From every week to once a month, we go on a date. Right. We don't ever go nowhere. Yeah, because you want to be showing off on social media. Right. How about that?
Can't afford to do both.
Can't afford to do both, and I won't.
Yeah, so those are just people's values. And like, I always think like our generation, our year, like whatever, would like have it perfectly. We remember life without social media, but also,
We're the tweeners.
Yeah, we remember life without it, but we also mastered it. So where the kids below us, like you really, as soon as you got to high school, you had social media, and as soon as you started dating, you had social media. So this is what you compare it to, and you have access to all these relationships. So you think how it's supposed to go, when whole time not even close. Right. It's not even real life.
And the divorce rates are higher now. So it's like people are getting married like fast because like we was like the show The Ultimatum.
The what?
The Ultimatum. I hate her, y'all. Like that show, like they all hey. I could be British. In another life I was.
Whatever.
And Nigerian. My brother.
Be quiet.
But on that
I always
show,
thought people got married because like my circle, people get married fast. They're all in the military. We all know that story. But I don't I didn't know if other people were getting married. But also that too, like, do you want the marriage or do you want the wedding?
Right. Do you want the glam or you want the actual relationship? Because I feel like in that space, you can't just, how do I say this politically correct? Like with marriage, you gotta understand, like people really don't understand. Hey bro, this is it. The vows are until death do us part.
If those are your values, those aren't everybody's values.
Correct. But I'm saying, y'all, we really gotta break it down and really listen to what you're saying and what the vows are and all that. Like he's up there saying till death do us part, not until you piss me off and I can't do this no more, or until we face an obstacle that I don't want to compromise on or that you don't want to compromise on, or that we can't figure out just off the top of our heads. We got to do some actual work. Like a lot of people nowadays, they not used to doing the work. Like relationship is work, friendship is work, all that is work.
Also with social media with that too, I feel like both parts, but I'm going to say men specifically because I'm on the other end of it. But like, y'all have so much more access to all these women to where like back in the day, it was just whoever you went to school with.
Right.
Or the surrounding cities or whatever.
In your neighborhood.
Right. Your neighborhood, whoever like basketball games you went to that y'all played the other schools. Now you could literally talk to anybody and all you want to. And I feel like that makes marriage harder too. Mm-hmm. Because we're married because I love you or we've been together this long or you've been in the area, but you have all this access, and if you don't know what to do with that access, like that's trouble.
Yeah, and it gets to the point too, for me when I look at it, because I'm just like, all right, like what is so important for you, like that girl on The Ultimatum, like when she was like 20, 22, 24, and she was just like, yeah, we've been together for 2 years. Lady.
All of them were like 2.5 years.
Yeah, like what? So what? Like, so what? What is that? What does that benchmark mean? Like,
with that one girl, most of them are like, well, I want to have kids, and nobody really plans to be a baby mama.
You're like 22. You have time. Like,
okay, but you at 22,
right?
Were you thinking that?
What?
Maybe not you.
Was I thinking what?
I'm saying that you knew what was best for you. Not that you wanted to have kids, but you thought like you knew like what you wanted to do.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly. So I can't really blame them on that part. But
for sure. I just knew.
Yeah.
But that's also a tribute to my parents because that's just how I was raised.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. It's just people have different values now.
Yeah, I think people knock. It's cool to have your own values. I'm not knocking if they don't align with mine. I'm also not praising you if they don't align with mine, but I'm also not praising you. But I think it's important to at least understand what you're getting into and not be like so emotional or so strategic to where
I think if you're in a relationship, your values should align.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like agree with mine. Like the people. Like if you're your
significant other, your values?
No, I'm saying them, the people.
Oh, I was gonna say what?
No, of course. If you're in a relationship, be like it's not gonna work if they don't align.
I'll say that's the one thing that has to
one
align.
person value loyalty, the other person value bringing home a meal every day, no matter what. No matter what it is, like it ain't like
yeah.
So for me, like it's just like y'all, like people gotta really pay attention to the like not necessarily like, oh yeah, these are my values, but the values and the morals that matter. Because at the end of the day, marriage is pretty much like the same bubble of morals and values. Like you're not just going
if you value marriage.
If you value marriage.
Most people don't.
If you don't value marriage, why you get married?
Clearly.
Why you get married?
Some people just get married to get married, or because the girl gave them an ultimatum. But you still out here thotting and bopping.
But if you don't value marriage as if you don't value marriage as the woman.
Why is it just on the woman?
No, I'm saying if you don't value marriage as the woman, like, no, marry me because like we're not about to do life together because I don't want to just feel like blah blah blah. Like if you don't really want to get married, but you get married just to not look a certain type of way, and if you get married as a dude just because you don't want her to leave her, or you don't want her to leave you, or whatever the case is, like you don't value marriage. Like marriage is not a cop out for anything.
I mean, I don't know. That's other people's lives. Because like I said, I view marriage in one type of way. You can't just want to get married. The person has to make you want to get married. Like for me, I never wanted to get married. But a person changed my mind because of you, not just the status of being married. It's like the show The Ultimatum, all of them kept saying that. Like, if you don't want to marry me, somebody else will. Why shouldn't the person be more important than the title?
Right. And again, like my mom says this all the time, like everybody has their process. Like everybody gets a process. So their process, like a lot of people love fast. Like it doesn't take them long. They're like, oh, I love you. Like I love you. They love. I'm not that person.
Right. It's not. That's what I'm saying. It's about love or being in love or being married or whatever it is, but not that specific person, which makes the whole difference of if the marriage is gonna work. In my eyes, I don't know. I'm not married. Whatever. And the process to me is supposed to be where the beauty is. Like. Correct. Oh, we're not like evenly aligned, but like we put that work in and now we're like this. Right. Like, or like I'm 25, I should have been married with 2 kids by now. Like no. Like that's what you whoever want. You're with at 25. That's what you wanted. And life always has a way of throwing curveballs, and when you think you got everything planned out and you trying to control like, oh, okay, like no, by 25 this needs to be checked. Like I need to have 2 degrees and 2 kids. Like correct. Come on now. Like that's not even realistic all the time. Yeah. So what do I know? I'm not married or have kids or anything like that. Yeah. You do got some wisdom on you. For sure. Yeah. Be quiet. Be quiet. Don't even say it. You don't even know what I was going to say. I know you're about to say something about me being old, so be quiet. Correct. Whatever. Hey, when you're 36, man. I wouldn't know. You didn't seen some things. Cut the cameras off. You didn't see Jesus. So, whatever. Probably not. So, wrapping it up, I feel like that was a lot. It was more of a therapy session for you this time. No, it wasn't. I was helping you. Oh, I think so. 100%. I was helping you. 100%. I was helping the people. Don't get married. Period. Don't get married? Watch the whole episode. You know what I meant. I can't stand you, bro. Nah, but closing wise. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a tough one. We're gonna stick with the music. Okay. So in a sing off, not song for song, in a sing off. Vocals. In a sing off. Vocals only. What you about to say? You got 3 contestants going against each other. Okay. You got Wanye. Okay. You got Wanye. Okay. You got Chris Brown. Okay. And I'm gonna say you got Luther. Wanye. You taking Wanye? Yeah, for sure. Ooh, over Luther? Yeah. Ooh. I'm taking Wanye for sure. Why you taking Wanye? Just because it's the range for me, like. Oh yeah. And Wanye soothes me. He really does. I don't know why, and I think Chris Brown can sing. Like I don't think he always uses his full potential in his vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's up there. But
Underrated singer.
Underrated. I even think, but if you listen to Wanye's voice, like we had this debate in my family, like don't do that.
Yeah. Debate.
Like I think, whatever. I didn't at first because it's Michael Jackson, but I think Wanye has a better voice than Michael Jackson.
Oh my God.
Just vocals. Obviously, Michael Jackson is the king. I'm a big Mike fan. I love Mike. Better music, all of that. But vocally, I think Wanye is better. I do.
No.
I do.
No.
But you had Mike in there. So,
no.
Wanye versus Luther versus Breezy. I'm still going Wanye.
First of all,
I ain't asked you. I don't care.
No, yeah. I'm answering. Take these glasses off.
Oh, my God.
Oscillator. Yeah. Right. First of all, Michael Jackson was making percussion beats with literally his voice.
Aware.
How can anybody ever say they have a better voice than Michael Jackson? And he can literally sing any part of the song, the soprano part, tenor, whatever you want to do, Mike gonna give it to you.
That is my personal opinion.
And Wanye can't sing no song straight. That man got to do a run. One thing Wanye gonna do is do a run.
For sure, and that's points there. My personal opinion, that's what I think.
Better singer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you did your homework, but clearly you were doing drugs.
Whatever. That's what I think.
Crazy.
I don't think that's a common opinion. I don't, because I didn't believe it either.
For a reason.
Whatever. I'm gonna stand on it. I'm
gonna need you to stand on it because this is gonna be the clip that they see first. This is for sure the clip that they're gonna see first.
Okay.
Oh, that gotta go in the story. Who a better singer? Oh, that's who. I wanted to throw Tevin Campbell in there, but I just don't feel like he's even in that box either. Now
I think he is. I think he is.
He got range.
He still wouldn't win, but he's
nowhere,
definitely
he's nowhere near like he can't tie their shoes. He can't tie Wanye's shoes just off the strength.
He can't tie Wanye's.
He can't tie Chris Brown's shoes either. If Chris Brown sing, he can't tie it. And who was the other person I gave?
Luther.
You know, I feel like Luther range bigger than his too.
Yeah, I feel like Luther sings from his stomach. Like he sings, and I don't feel like Tevin Campbell does.
Yeah, Tevin Campbell reminds me of Ralph from New Edition. His voice just sounds really good. Like it just sounds really good. But when you
effortless, I don't feel like he really tried.
Right, you don't really have anything. And Mario can sing, but they all like Mario.
Oh, Let Me Love You.
Yeah, I feel like Mario can sing too, but to me, until recently, Mario really never flexed his vocals for real.
Yeah, he really didn't.
He never. But now all of a sudden, it's like, can't nobody sing better than me. Like, where was
he
this
still
on?
ain't top.
Where was this 10. On Just a Friend? Where was this on?
He was still young though.
Yeah.
So maybe puberty ain't hit. No, because he was singing on the first John.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Come on now. Might not be a culture classic, but it's a classic.
For sure.
But.
So who'd you pick? Wanye, Luther, Breezy.
Wanye. I wanted to pick Breezy just off the strength alone that I'd have heard him like go crazy singing on some draws, like, and I'm like, and we've never, regardless of what you want to say, we've never heard a voice like Wanye or Chris Brown ever. Chris Brown and Wanye have two of the most distinctive voices, singing wise, in music history, and I think that's what makes Chris Brown so special about this generation. Also Beyonce as well. Those two voices you've never heard before. For sure. You've never heard.
As soon as Beyonce comes on the track, you know it's Beyonce.
And both also like their singing style. Like you can tell when Chris Brown wrote a song. You can tell when Beyonce wrote a song because of how the vocals
if you have that music thing.
If you're musically inclined to like
most
that.
Most people are not.
They're not. I am a different breed when it comes to music, but appreciate you, bud. Like closing out the month with the first co-host. We had to give it a trial run. I'll give you your flowers, like I told you off camera. Yeah. You know, you're my dog. Like I ain't feel comfortable really with the co-host thing when we did the post. the poll and all that, just seeing. But I'd bring you back.
I'll come save the day again.
A year from now,
I'll come save the day again. It's fine.
You couldn't even talk. I could say the kids got.
You're lucky to say your mic.
But please get it right. I seen you changed it on social media. You could follow Lyric at Lyricida with 3 A's.
I didn't change it.
It was 2 A's.
Years ago.
No, literally last year.
No, I literally didn't change it.
Trayvon, roll the clip.
Whatever. Yeah, you can follow me on there. Entertainment all day.
And to see more angles of the glasses, you can follow Oscillators.
Yeah, they'll be back at some point. It's just COVID.
Yeah, we're gonna
everything's on COVID.
Hey, we're gonna blame COVID. We're gonna blame COVID.
The supply stuff. It's just yeah.
That's what it is. All right, so you can follow us. Follow me at Mike the Young OG. And you can follow the podcast at RAPORCAP podcast. If you're following on Twitter, remove the T and add the 1. And y'all tell me and Lyric if we rapping a cabin.
Peace.
Holla.